Hi there. In honor of Dr. Seuss's birthday, I'd like to share with you one of my favorite Dr. Seuss stories. Oh Say, Can You Say? Said a book reading parrot named Hooey. The words in this book are all phooey. When you say them, your lips will make slips and backflips, and your tongue may end up in St. Louis. Do you like fresh fish? It's just fine at Finney's Diner. Finney also has some fresher fish that's fresher and much finer. But his best fish is his freshest fish. And Finney says with pride, "The finest fish at Finney's is my freshest fish, French fried." These words in here are kind of tongue-twisterish, wouldn't you agree? So, don't order the fresh or the fresher fish. At Finney's, if you're wise, you'll say, "Fetch me the finest French fried freshest fish at Finney Fries." We have a dinosaur named Den. Den's thin. Den doesn't have much skin, and the bones fall out of his left front shin. Then we have to call in Penner Blinn, who comes with his handy shin pin bin, and with a thin blend shin bone pin, Blinn pins Den's shin bones right back in. And there's a picture of that old bony dinosaur. Bed spreaders spread spreads on beds. Bed spreaders spread butters on breads. And the bed spreader better watch out how he's spreading, or that bread spreader's sure going to butter his bedding. You'll enjoy these tongue twisters as you read. As he gobbled the cakes on his plate, the greedy ape said as he ate, "The greener green grapes are, the keener keen apes are, to gobble green grape cakes. They're great!" Are you having trouble in saying this stuff? It's really quite easy for me, or not for me. I just look in my mirror and see what I say, and then I just say what I see. Now let's talk about money. You should leave your grox home when you travel by air. If you take him along, they charge double the fare. And your grox must be packed and locked up in a grox box, which costs much, much more than a little old fox box. So it's heaps a lot cheaper to fly with your foxes than waste all that money on boxes for groxes. Do you know what a grox is? Neither do I. You'll have to check out this book to find out. And what do you think costs more? A simple thimble or a single shingle? A simple thimble could cost less than a single shingle would, I guess. So I think that the single shingle should cost more than the simple thimble would. Oh. Eat at Skipper Zip's. If you like to eat potato chips and chew pork chops on clipper ships, I suggest that you chew a few chips and a chop at Skipper Zip's clipper ship, Chip Chop Shop. And if your tongue is getting queasy, don't give up. The next one's easy. There are so many things that you really should know, and that's why I'm bothering telling you so. You should know the first names of the Fuddnuttler brothers who like to pile each on heads of the others. If you start at the top, there are Bipper and Bud, and Skipper and Jipper, and Jeffrey and Judd. Horatio, Horace, and Hendrix and Hud. And then come Dinwoody and Denty and Dud. Also, Fitzsimon and Frederick and Fudd, and Slinky and Stinky and Stewart and Stud. And down at the bottom is poor little Lud. But if Lud ever sneezes, his name will be Mud. Trust me, you're going to enjoy this book when you check it out. Quack, quack. We have two ducks, one blue, one black. And when our blue duck goes quack, quack, our black duck quickly quacks, quack. Quack, quacks back. The quacks blue. The quacks blue quacks make her a quacker. But black is a quicker quacker backer. Now you're probably wondering why I'm having so much fun with this book. The tongue twisters make it difficult to read, but they're also hilarious. Let's see if you can do a better job than Mr. Knight when you check this book out. And speaking of quacks, reminds me of cracks and stacks and sacks and shacks and snacks. So, oh say can you say, I have cracks in my shack, I have smoke in my stack, and I think there's a snack in the sack on my back. Oh, West Beast, East Beast. Sounds a lot like West Side, East Side. Upon an island hard to reach, the beast of East sits on his beach. Upon the West Beach sits the West Beast. Each beach beasts thinks he's the best beast. Which beast is best? Well, I thought at first that the East was best and the West was worst. Then I looked again from the West to the East, and I liked the beast on the East Beach least. There are those beasts, East and West. Pete pats pigs. Pete Briggs pats pigs. Briggs pats pink pigs. Briggs pats big pigs. Don't ask me why. It doesn't matter. Pete Briggs is a pink pig, big pig patter. Pete Briggs pats his big pink pigs all day. Don't ask me why. I cannot say. Then Pete puts his patted pigs away in his Pete Briggs pink pigs, big pigs, pig pen. There's Pete Briggs and his big pink pigs. Fritz food. Fritz needs Fred and Fred needs Fritz. Fritz feeds Fred and Fred feeds Fritz. Fred feeds Fritz with Ritzy Fred food. Fritz feeds Fred with Ritzy Fritz food. And Fritz, when fed, has often said, I'm a Fred fed Fritz. Fred's a Fritz fed Fred. There's Fritz and fed, being fed. How to tell a klotz from a glotz. Uh-oh, this one sounds tricky. Well, the glotz, you will notice, has lots of black spots. The klotz is quite different with lots of black dots. But the big problem is that the spots on a glotz are about the same size as the dots on a klotz. So you first have to spot who the one with the dots is. Then it's easy to tell who the klotz or the glotz is. Can you tell which one is the klotz or the glotz? Neither can I. What would you rather be when you grow up? I know what I want to be. A cop in a cop's cap, or a cupcake cook in a cupcake cook's cap, or a fat flapjack flapper in a flat flapjack cap. Or if you think you don't like cops' caps, flapjack flappers, or cupcake cooks' caps, maybe you're one of those choosy chaps who likes kooky captain's caps, perhaps. Which cap did you decide on? More about Blinn. Well, when Blinn comes home, tired from his work, pinning shins, the happiest hour of old Blinn's day finally begins. Mr. Blinn is the father of musical twins who, tucking twin instruments under twin chins, lull their daddy to sleep with twin Blinn violins. And, oh, say, can you say, far away in Berlin, a musical urchin named Gretchen von Schwinn has a blue-footed, true-footed, trick-fingered, slick-fingered, six-fingered, six-string tin Schwinn mandolin. Do you know what a mandolin is? I'll bet it looks something like this. Rope, soap, hoop, soap. The story just goes on and on, doesn't it? If you hope to wash soup off a rope, simply scrub it with scrope. Scrope is so strong that no rope is too long. But if you should wish to wash soup off a hoop, I suggest that it's best to let your whole silly souped up hoop soak in Soapy Cooper's super soup off hoops soak suds. You really have to check this book out and read it a second time. Merry Christmas mush. I happen to enjoy Christmas. One year we had a Christmas brunch with Merry Christmas mush too much. But I don't think you'd care for such. We didn't like too much mush much. And there's the mush. And speaking of Christmas, here are some great gifts to give to your daddy. If your daddy's name is Jim, and if Jim swims, and if Jim's slim, the perfect Christmas gift for him is a set of Slim Jim swim fins. But if your daddy's name is Dwight, and he likes to look at birds at night, the gift for Dwight that might be right is a bright Dwight bird flight. Night sight light. There's Jim and Dwight, both with their Christmas gifts. But never give your daddy a walrus. A walrus with whiskers is not a good pet. And a walrus which whispers is worse even yet. When a walrus whispers through tough, rough, wet whiskers, your poor daddy's ear will get blispers and bliskers. And that's almost enough of such stuff for one day. One more and you're finished. Oh, say, can you say? Whew. I don't think I can take much more of this. The storm starts when the drops start dropping. When the drops stop dropping, then the storm starts stopping. Now, that was a pretty easy one, wasn't it? And that's the end.